friend, how you doing? This is Sacha and you're listening to Enlivened. So today we're going to talk about the 3 stages of consciousness in order to understand how people manifest. So there are more ways of explaining this, but this is just my way of understanding it, and I want to make it as simple, as pragmatic as I possibly can for you to understand the basics of manifestation. In order to make your life that much better, baby. Okay, so let's start. Number 1, we have a victim consciousness. Life is happening to me. Number 2, we have the mental consciousness. Life is happening for me. And number 3, we have the spiritual consciousness. Life is happening through me. So I want to talk about those 3 stages very quickly today with you. And this is the way I understand it. And this is the way that I can best help you today. We can talk about manifestation for 120 hours straight and we wouldn't be done. There is so much to understand about manifestation. So just for today, I want to keep it at the level of consciousness. Okay, let's keep it at the levels of consciousness. So everybody in the world, everybody that's ever lived, everybody that will ever live is manifesting. We are creating our reality. We are creating our reality. But some people are creating their reality from this energetic state, from this frequency state that is very healthy. And some people are doing it from a stage that is a little bit not healthy. And some people are doing it with ease, and some people are not doing it with ease. Some people are understanding that they know how to make their lives easier, and some people are not understanding how to make their lives easier. So this is the thing that I want to talk about with you today. I want to help you understand how you can actually make your life easier. And it's not about working less or working more, nothing like that. It's just about being aligned with who you are and recognizing when you are in a pattern, when you are operating from not your highest self, right? So this is the thing that I want to talk about today. So number 1, when we talk about victim consciousness, this state of consciousness, when you are operating, when you're going through your day and you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my God, you're stressed out and you're in a frantic state and you have to rush out of bed and you have to make the breakfast and you don't look pretty and you do your mascara like not that great and your makeup looks okay and you actually like try to do and then you're like in this frantic state and you're trying to get somewhere, but you're not happy in the now. You're not present in the now with you, and you're just like hoping that, oh my God, something good's gonna happen. Like, God, listen to me, right? Like, I hope God hears me today. And like people in that state, they don't feel like the power is inside of them. They forget that they have the power of affecting their lives. And this is why it's called the victim consciousness, because it's like you feel like you can't affect change in your life. You feel like you don't know what to do because you're doing everything right according to what you've been told to do, right? By society, by your parents, by however you grew up. And you feel like you're doing everything right, but you're just like, why am I always losing? Why are things always happening to me? So this is the victim consciousness, because you don't know that the power is inside of you. It's like it's just a lack of consciousness. It's like we need to just take where you are and just broaden the view. So it's almost like you're watching the screen on an Apple Watch and we need to put it like in a movie theater screen. And then you can see, oh, the picture's so much bigger. So it's like the way that you look at life was from this telescope, like almost like this really small like pirate. I don't even know what it's called, but you're looking at life through this like tiny little cylinder. And then we need to be like, hey, take off the cylinder, like look at life through a wider perspective, zoom out. Like, life is not just one way. And when we do that, what we do is we show We show you that there's so many other ways to live, and you are capable of becoming someone who affects change in their reality. You are someone who can take charge, make decisions, and improve your life. You can literally be, think, feel your way into a better life. Once you start understanding that, boom, you jump into the second stage where life is happening for you. You start studying manifestation. You start following accounts on Instagram. You actually believe it when people say you are worthy, you are great. Like, you start doing affirmations, you start to journal, you have tarot cards, you have astrologers. You're like, yeah, baby, I am on. I am doing this. You start to feel empowered, and this is great. This is pretty fucking great. But it's not the last stage, right? Because in this stage, there's still a lot of doing. There's still a lot of um, attachment, depending, right? You could be at the very early part of, the second stage, or you can be like at the very far end of that spectrum, like almost in the third stage. So let's say that you're in the middle, smack dab in the middle of the second stage of consciousness, and you probably still have some attachments. You're like, oh my God, I want to have the Range Rover. I want to have the Porsche. I want to have 20K months. I want to, like, whatever it is. I want to have the wedding, I don't know, like in New York City at the plaza, right? Isn't that like a thing? Like, whatever it is, you're still attached. You're still trying to manifest from this ego. So you're using the knowledge of manifestation, that you understand how everything works in the universe. You're using the energy, but you're using it from your mind. You're using it from a space of wanting more, of desiring more. And I do want to say that's really cool. And a lot of people are getting far with that. And it's like, if you're doing it that way, great. However, I do want to share with you the third stage, because in my opinion, the third stage is much sexier, much more badass, and it's the place to be, because I believe it's actually easier to be in the third stage than in the second stage. Because in the second stage, you're still trying you're trying fucking hard to get things you want. You're trying hard. You are trying hard. And in the third stage, it's more about surrender. It's more about surrender and letting life flow through you. And pragmatically, what that looks like is saying, I don't need things outside of myself to make me feel good. I don't need to have the Range Rover. I don't need to have the wedding in New York City at the plaza, with the most handsome man who makes like $1 billion a year. I don't need those things. I can just be one with life, and I can feel absolutely fucking amazing. And when that happens, ironically, that's when all the things come to you, when you're not attached. So if you are a smart little cookie, and I know you are, you've understood that the difference between the second stage and the third stage is attachment. And attachment means that we identify with the idea that we are separate. We still believe that we are separate from the things we want. That's the second stage. The third stage actually gets that we're not separate. The third stage is recognizing that we are one with the thing we want. Like, we are literally the same fabric of the universe. We're literally the same energy. We are made of the same thing. The common denominator of us and the thing that we want is the same thing. We are made of the same stuff. And when that happens, we understand that we are part of life. And when we understand that we are part of life, we understand that we are always, always indefinitely abundant. And there is no reality in which we're not. Now, this sounds really great, right? When you hear this, when you hear, wow, I am one, I am letting life flow through me. This is great. I'm not going to be attached to anything, but like, where's my 20K month, Sash? Like, I need this. Boom, you're back into the second stage. The moment that you say, I need that thing in order to feel good in the now, you are back into the second stage. You are back in the lack of trust. You are back into, I identify with my human self. I believe that that thing that I want is separate from me. Now, the irony here is that the moment that you get that you are in the spiritual consciousness and you You don't need anything outside yourself. You feel fucking fly right this second in the like you're present right now with me, and you're looking at yourself and you're like, I'm feeling fucking fly. I'm feeling fly. I know that life is happening through me. I know that my spirit is animating my body. I know that this is like this body that I'm moving with my consciousness is not me. I am much bigger than this. And I wish you could see me on video, but I'm moving my hands like up and down and up and down. And the thing is, when we identify with the spirit and the consciousness that animates our body, life is a lot more fun. Life is a lot more flowy. We don't operate from fear. We are not worried that we're going to die. We're not worried about anything. And we actually are not even afraid of death, because we understand that energy is never created nor destroyed. And we know that our consciousness will go on living. We know that consciousness will go on living. And our body and our meat suit, we don't identify with that. We don't attach to the meat suit. We attach to the only thing that we really are, and that is the observer of the thoughts, the observer of the body, the observer of the life that we see. I hope that this makes sense to you. I just wanted to share this part of manifestation process with you today. Just to reiterate what we talked about. We talked about the 3 stages of consciousness, according to yours truly, Sacha. But I do want to say some people put it differently. Some people don't even talk about this, but I think it's a really important thing to talk about. The victim consciousness, the mental consciousness, and the spiritual consciousness. Life happens to me is victim. Life happens for me is mental. And life happens through me is spiritual. Which one are you going to choose? Which one are you playing in? I would love it if you got something out of today, if you messaged me on Instagram, if you took a screenshot of whatever you're listening to this on, if you took a photo of it and you actually tagged me on Instagram and said, Sacha, this was psycho, what the fuck? Or if you liked it, or if you just were shocked, or if you actually have some advice for me, if you have thoughts, like, let's jam it out, babe. And if you think that one of your friends, somebody you know, could benefit from this episode, please share it with them. That would be so cool. And I want to thank you in advance for doing that. Thank you, my friend. And yeah, I hope this was helpful for you today. And I hope that you have a magnificent day, and that you play with the consciousness that you're at, and that you know that you can choose a better future. No matter how good you have it now, it can be like 20 billion times better. All right, my friend, I love you. Expand from your core essence into whatever you feel like being today. I love you.